Hi, my name is Dylan Ketterman. I am the director of The Midnight Game. Jumping right in, the first title that appears is actually a throwback to my very first video that started my filmmaking career. The cracked computer screen effect I had actually messed with my family. They thought I had actually broke my computer screen until I turned off the Ultra key and they all kind of calmed down. As the film began, I knew I wanted to add in a lot of sound effects, and I didn't know how dark I was really going to go, so I thought the warning was probably the best call. One of my favorite things about this short is how it actually takes a piece of all the little sequels I did previous to this project, and it actually works really well together. For the news report, I actually wanted to add pictures, but as I attempted to do it was hard to have a nice transition to each one, so I just used the actor's face when she says his name, so that way it's easier to not to have to explain who this person is and why is the audience being introduced to this person. The phone text effect that appears on the screen was one of the toughest parts of the title editing process because the words didn't want to work with me and kept looking off, so I actually almost gave up on adding it in, but luckily I was able to fix the graphic issue and deliver the effect I wanted. For the moment you see the big red text effect, I kept it in there as a little nudge to the Conjuring universe, but I hated how abrupt it ended, and I kind of wish I was able to fix that effect, or at least film an actor talking about who exactly the Midnight Man was. I was actually worried about not having enough B-roll, and come to find out, I didn't, and I was freaking out, but instead of rushing and setting up lighting kits and everything, I took a deep breath, I just went onto my Epidemic Sound, and just looked for sound effects, and turns out I made the B-roll into sound effects as well. The camera work originally was all tripod, and it was god-awful in post. So the moment Brian begins the game was all redone, and majority of the scenes you see were all reshot at least 4 times. Mainly because I didn't know what I wanted the scene to look like until I took the camera off the tripod and started filming Nick, the actor who played Brian Yates, walking around. The Midnight Man's first scene is kind of iconic to the actors, mainly because it was the first scene we shot, and of how long it actually took to shoot the scene, because the actors kept not getting in the place where I was trying to tell them where to be, or that they were forgetting to close the door. And luckily, I don't know how, but on the scene you guys do see, Nick was about to forget the door until I started flailing my arms around, saying, pointing at the door, and it was a crazy mess, but luckily he was able to close the door, and that was it, and they captured a perfect moment. The Midnight Man's first scene the way I was able to get the door to slide in and out super fast was due to help of my actor Nick, because he was standing behind the door, and all I had to do in post was reverse the speed of him closing it very slowly. The children's voices were originally over the door of Nick standing in front of the door being opening and closing, but it didn't feel like it really worked there, so I put it to where the sliding door was going really fast. The female voice is supposed to be the original Charlotte, but I thought it was a cooler effect if the Midnight Man was tricking Brian into going deeper down into this game known as a rabbit hole. The leg grabbing was pretty funny in my opinion, because Michaela, who played Charlotte and the unknown being basically, was sitting crisscross on the floor and grabbed his leg one time, and it was just a hilarious slap that occurred. But the running scene, I was originally going to be done in the front of me running backwards, but I ended up almost falling. Somehow I caught myself. And the other time was when Nick was running, but he just kept stepping all over me and was unable to actually pick up the speed. So I thought, hey, let me just move over to this side right over here. If it doesn't work, then I'll put it on a tripod and we'll figure it out from there. But somehow it worked perfectly, and I was loving it. Until in post I realized I saw a lighting kit in the background, and I'm like, I can't redo this for another 4th or 5th time again. The security camera of him was actually old footage from the previous time I filmed it, so that way with the glitch it actually covered up the hat he was wearing in the film, and I was like, thank God I don't have to refilm this part, because it was kind of a pain because the mosquitoes were super bad outside. So that's why you don't see his face when the keys are jiggling like I had wrote in the script originally. But also it does give a little nudge back to the Black Eyed Kids, because then I actually did have a security footage used for when she was seeing the Black Eyed Kid originally. The demon voice was probably one of my favorite parts to do, and probably the hilarious part was all I did was take a goat screaming and just distorted the voice itself. And it's kind of funny when I watch it, but when my family was watching it, they kind of all jumped. I was like, hey, that actually worked. Overall, this has been one of my favorite times of filming and editing because the scenes just connected so easily and I was able to have a blast making this with my actors. It took 3 days to film and 4 days to edit, and the third and fourth day was me editing in all the sounds you hear. It was a crazy lot of work, but it was worth it in the end, and I wouldn't change a thing about the film itself, and I am proud to have produced it. And if you stick until the very end, you can see behind the scenes video and footage and photos. Alrighty, perfect. One more time, and this time lock it.
Yeah, you couldn't have just told me that.
I forgot. To be honest, as soon as you did it, I was like...
So wait, and this time we're going to do this.
It's called being a director.
Perfect time.
We're going to do it again. We got to have at least 3 good shots.
You didn't lock it, even though I didn't take it.
It's kind of his fault.
Didn't breathe the right way.
Okay. Alright, I need you to turn around. Please work with me here. You got the matches? How you gonna light it?
I got them in my
Okay.
pocket. Go back to matches again.
Alright, step over there. And can you light the candle? Come over, come over, come over. Can you come over here, Mr. Midnight Man?
Where?
Right behind Nicholas?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Alrighty. And light the candle, Nick. Okay, now blow out the candle. This scene is going to work really nicely, actually. Now blow out your candle. Alrighty. Mr. Midnight Man.
Swear to God, if you have him put his hands around my throat.
Oh, he dragged you out of the scene in pure but darkness.
Well, yeah. Getting drugged.
So, as soon as you come into the scene, can we do one where you're like, and welcome back, like you do a full turnaround in the chair? Like you turn around.
Oh.
Like, you know, just spin and turn around. Like, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Like you spin and then you turn around and you put your hand on the desk saying, you know, your lines.
Channel 5. Welcome back.
All right, let's do it like that.
Alright.
Action.
Channel 5. Welcome back. For the last
Can we
two-
redo that? Sorry. That... Action. And action.
Channel 5. Welcome back. For the last 2 years, strange abductions have been occurring, and due to the hard work of the Fayburn Police Department,
Alrighty. Take 4, I think. Action.
Channel 5. Welcome back. For the last 2 years, oh shit.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're gonna pull Nick, and he's gonna fight back. Okay? Pull him hard. You're gonna. You gotta let her pull you hard, okay?
It's kind of hard to.
No, I'm being serious. How do you do it? Now I got it. And action. Damn it, Nicholas. I ain't got a lot of battery left.
Okay, okay. Alright. Pitter patter, let's get out of here.
And I need you to clap it.
Oh god, that scared me.
5.
You're moving. Action. Just walk in.